Okay, so next up on the field technology agenda, I got elites and poison gas to cover. So if you roll a 2 for your technological achievement, you get an elite. If you roll a 3, you get poison gas. So these are relatively straightforward. Elites, poison gas, and also machine guns, which I'll get to in the next video, are very similar to each other in that you attach them to your in-play units, infantry, artillery, and with machine guns, also infantry. And you can move them from territory to territory. Basically, it's a boost to up to 3 units each. So again, elites and machine guns attached to infantry, poison gas attaches to artillery. They're overall fairly straightforward. Poison gas, a little more, this has got a little bit more to it. Elites are very simple though, so I'll get into them first. And basically each tech you can pair up to, of these techs, you can pair with up to 3 units. And basically how we like to do it is that you stack up to 3 chips, and then you have a national marker just to identify them especially in case you have like multiple friendly powers in the same territory. So you can identify that, yes, like that's German, it's not Austro-Hungarian. And then you put the tech marker on top. So elites are just advanced attacking infantry or special attacking infantry. They got a boost to them, right? So here's the Kings and Kaisers battle board. Infantry, unpaired infantry, attack at a 2. Infantry paired with artillery, attack at a 3. And infantry, standard infantry at least, always defend at a 3. Okay, so if Germany has 3 elites, well, elites attack at a 4. So yeah, up to 3 elites attack at a 4, which is pretty nice. Ooh, I only got 1 hit there that time, but it can be a nice little boost to your army, especially if you have to do a dogfight and determine air supremacy. But at least when you're attacking, you know, okay, for sure I'm going to have 3 4s in that battle, right? Important to note that elites, poison gas, and machine guns, in terms of taking space on transports, do not take up additional space on transports. So a transport, much like all Axis and Allies type games, can hold up to 2 units. In this game, they can hold any kind of land units. It doesn't have to be an infantry and an artillery, just to throw that out there. Or it doesn't have to have at least 1 infantry. You can put like 2 artillery on a transport in Kings and Kaisers and 1914, just to clarify that. But anyway, what I'm saying is, say, okay, so here's this stack of poison gas. Well, that's compare with up to 3 artillery, but only 2 of them can go onto the transport with the poison gas tech. The techs themselves do not move independently of the chips that they're paired with. They are always considered attached to at least 1 chip. All right, like a machine gun cannot move on its own. Poison gas cannot move on its own. It's always attached to 1. But much like infantry and artillery pairing, they can pair with up to 3. All right, and you can move them into the same territory for multiple different territories to pair. So if, say, where's a good example? So say Germany had an elite in Rhine province, 1 elite in Rhine province. Say this was all different. Say Germany had 1 elite in Rhine province and they had 2 infantry in Alsace. Then the 3 of them collectively could move into Belgium, pair with the elite marker, and then all 3 would become elites and conduct combat in Belgium, you know? So there you go. That was just a little example right there. Elites still defend at 3. If I don't remember if I already said that or not. It's just an offensive boost for them. So yeah, it basically just means that those 3 infantry can attack at a 4, and they still defend at a 3. They're basically the polar opposite of machine guns, which I'll cover in the next video. Machine guns are the inverse of it. I'll cover that later, but elites are basically the opposite of that. Opposite of machine guns. Now, poison gas. How does poison gas work? So, poison gas gets attached to your artillery. Let's see. Oh, and just to clarify, in case I haven't already, you can have multiple techs in the same territory, but you can only have 1 in one, you can, oh, sorry, you can have multiple techs in a single territory, but you can only have one per power. So, like, theoretically, Britain can have elites and poison gas in the same territory, but they cannot have 2 poison gas in the same territory. So you got to be also selective about where you're going to put them, because they can't necessarily work together and stuff like that. Let's see, if you in the instance of having multiple of the same techs and whatnot. All right, so now how does poison gas work? Well, poison gas gets attached to your artillery, and if you have poison gas artillery, they can possibly paralyze defending infantry. So again, it's only an offensive capability. It has no effect for the defender. But if you have poison gas and you're about to attack, you may want to use it. You can optionally choose, if you would rather get the hit, use the artillery to get hits. It's one or the other, basically. If you would rather use them as just standard artillery, you can certainly do that. If you want to use them to paralyze infantry, then you can do that too. So basically, what you do when if you decide to utilize your poison gas, your artillery roll these poison gas dice, or just yellow dice if you want to have, like, color coded. If you have a color coded dice system, or you can roll them individually if you want to use just standard dice. Basically, you can roll up to 3 dice. Again, up to 3 artillery paired with the poison gas. So you have up to 3 dice utilizing the poison gas, and infantry that are paired with poison gas artillery still get that offensive boost. They still get to get upgraded to attack at 3. So let's say these are let's say this is for this example. Let's say this is a stack of German artillery. Let's say we got 3 poison gas artillery for Germany, and we have 3 infantry now paired with those poison gas. So you get your poison gas dice, you have your infantry dice, and if you know what, I'm just gonna roll it. All right, so basically all these poison gas dice, they have 1, 2, and 3, and then the other sides are blank. So you want to get your numbers. All right, and we got lots of numbers, but we didn't get any hits. So this is kind of interesting. So these didn't hit, but we got up to 6 infantry paralyzed. However, we only have 1 infantry here. So yeah, paralyzed. I'm just gonna put him on his side. Not that that's what you're supposed to do, but he's paralyzed. He cannot defend. The territory is contested. In this instance, the territory is contested, defense does not get to fire back with this one guy. Now, if there were 6 infantry there, they would all be paralyzed in that instance and not be able to fight back. The territory would still be contested, though. Let's say, I'm just going to re-roll those 3s. Yeah, there we go. 2 hits. Okay. So theoretically, right? So now he's dead. Take control of the territory, in the instance that he got a hit, and would still not be able to fire back. So that's the cool thing with poison gas, and that means that at most 3 infantry per poison gas artillery, so 9 infantry total, could potentially be paralyzed. So if you get 3-3-3, whew, okay, you got a real lucky roll right there. So that can be devastating. Now, how many times has that happened? I can't think of one game where that's happened so far, but it certainly has the possibility to happen. So there you go. That is basically how poison gas works. Let's see. Yeah, that's basically it. Okay, so that covers elites and poison gas. Again, you can have 1 per power per territory. They don't take up additional space on transports. You have to place them in territories you control. They do not have to be original territories. They can be any territory as long as you control it and you have units there. Let's see. Yeah, it has to have been these territories. When I say controlled, it has to be a territory you controlled at the start of your turn when you got the breakthrough, or you know, at the top of your turn. If you decide to have saved a tech, instead of placing it right away, if you decide to like save a tech in your capital, and then you advance later, and then you can place it in another territory you control when the time comes. You can do that, of course. So, let's see. Actually, that's the inverse now. But anyway, okay. So that basically covers elites and poison gas. So on to machine guns and trench works next.